This is Felix Mlunda and welcome to my YouTube channel. I wish that you are able to subscribe so that we make the conversation growing together, as well as helping shaping the country, helping shaping ourselves, and of course shaping the lives of those who are to come after us. I mean, it's important for us today to focus or look at our journalists, and I'm going to specifically touch at the lives of correspondents or those journalists that work at mashinani, those who are operating from various counties. I mean, I have interacted with these journalists, and being inquisitive as a human being, I was able to learn, or I've been able to learn a few elements or a few things that make their work hard, make their work difficult. One is that the pay they receive is so meager. The salaries they earn are less than 20,000. Most of them, in fact, they told me that we earn less than 20,000. Then I had to ask them, what about those that are operating from the headquarters? The answer was simple, that those guys earn over 100,000. I asked, why the disparity? Does it mean that for them they have acquired huge academic experience? Or what is it? They told me, no, some of them were employed at the same time. We are given responsibilities, others and locations whereby some of us were sent to counties and others remained at headquarters. Then what brought about all these disparities in terms of salary? The answer is they don't know. It's only the employer who can explain why such huge disparities. And in fact, as such, I want to inform you employers that you've made the lives of these correspondents so difficult. They appear to be desperate human beings. They appear as beggars. They appear as vagabonds. Why they are appearing as such is because even to go and cover an event, they need to be facilitated by those who are calling for them to cover the story. They need the politicians to finance them. They need, if it's county government, to finance them. They need, if it's an individual, to finance them. If it's an organization, it's that organization to finance them. This is a worrying trend. It's not to be happening this way, because if someone is employed to tackle a particular work, is given a particular task, then that person must be given resources to be able to carry out this work, must be financed to be able to carry out this task. If at all there's no facilitation, then that is not work, that is not employment, that is not task. Something must be done, and employers must be able to restructure. Why should you as an employer pay those working at headquarters over 100,000, make their lives comfortable, and then you discriminate and prejudice, in fact, and see to it that those who are correspondents continue to suffer and survive only at the mercies of politicians, or at the mercies of businessmen, or at the mercies of individuals, or at the mercy of organizations that are interested in having the events covered. This is bad. And I ask myself, how can we therefore be sure that we get credible information? I mean, we can't be sure, because the surety can only come if the media house is the one that is sending that journalist straight away by facilitating that journalist to go and cover an event. But in this case, it is the news sources that are transporting these people to go and cover their stories. Therefore, how can we call for impartiality? How can we call for balanced story? It is impossible. It is practically impossible. It is hard. As employers, kindly move out of this. Embrace the HR policies. I believe that you have proper HR policies, but you've ignored your HR officers. You've ignored your HR managers. Whenever they advise, I believe that you've ignored their advice. You don't take it. And that's why you create another story. Another story whereby instead of having promotions, you do poaching. Every time we see people crossing over from one media house to another, as if he's a super journalist. That should be corrected. That should be arrested. That should come to an end, so that the promotional mechanism is put in place, so that those journalists that are operating as correspondents can also find themselves comfortably working at the headquarters. And this will keep the profession neat. This will keep the profession with its ethics at hand. And of course, you can't doubt that etiquette will be observed. That will help shape our systems, will help shape our media houses, that will help see us do a good job. Another thing that correspondents are suffering from is a phobia that when they are found in problems, there's no employer interested in looking at their issues, in helping them. That If someone is doing a good job and a good story comes out and you listen to it and you say, this is a big story, and everyone in the country, everyone in the world is saying, this is a big story, that's when employers want to say, that is my employee, that is my team, that's my team lead. You'll see them praising them, giving them good titles, the way I'm saying team lead. Hi, we must be able to style up. Why should we praise them? But when they find themselves in some misdemeanors, in some felonies, why do you as employers distance yourself? Why do you leave them to suffer alone? Why do you leave them even to appear in courts alone? Why can't you be able to provide even legal services by giving them legal officers who can be able to help them in these times of need, in these times of accusations, in these times when someone is being accused either of minor things, including running a story that seem to be biased. I mean, employers in media houses, you must be able to style up. Don't pay those who are at the headquarters some huge pay, then you pay these ones at county levels just some peanuts. That is wrong. That is bad. Don't neglect them. Don't subject them to discrimination of any nature. Let us appreciate them. Let us see to it that they're also doing their work as comfortably as those who are operating from the headquarters. Why should those at the headquarters have vehicles around, have a fleet of vehicles? If they want to rush somewhere, it's with ease. And yet we make it hard for them, those who are operating at mashinani. Remember, these are operating at mashinani are the ones that are feeding the media house with all sorts of information. Please, I wish that you change that. And I'll be happy, Kenyan, to interact again with the new journalists, the new correspondents that have smiles at their face, not because they have received handouts, but because they are receiving good pay, but because they are getting promotions, that because they can be defended even when they are also in problems. Thank you so much for listening to me. My name is Felix Mlunda. I wish you the best as you do your business in this country.